y'all? What's going on? It's your guy Rashawn, aka Looker. Welcome to the Space Invaders TV channel here on YouTube. Today, before we get into it, today is Thursday, June the 24th, 2021. Um, Before we get into it, I just want to send my blessings out to those that were affected by that collapsing of the pedestrian bridge that crossed over 295 in DC. I send my blessings out to all those that were involved. They said about 5 people were taken to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. So send my blessings out to those that were involved in that pedestrian bridge that crossed over 295 in DC. Also, I want to send peace and blessings out to those that were lost in that building that collapsed in Surfside, Florida. They said at least one person is dead and at least 10 are injured so far. And this is both of those stories, read got straight from CNN. So yeah, send my blessings, peace and blessings out to all those that may have family members lost or injured in those tragic events right there. Yeah, but moving on, what I want to talk about today, I want to talk about last week. Y'all know I spoke on the Guilford County educational system and them getting funds and what they were doing with the funds. You have a superintendent in Guilford County, North Carolina, Sharon Contreras, and I felt like you're the superintendent. You're supposed to be leading what is going on. All of these funds are being dropped down the pipeline for your schools and things of that nature. Um, what is going on? What is enough funding for you to start something? Because you were sitting on millions of dollars, you know what I'm saying, and then more money has been dropped into your lap. So I'm trying to figure out like what when are you gonna start something? 2020 school was out. We want to say what school the students were out here, in the South. They get out a lot earlier than what they may do in the North, and in the Midwest maybe. I'm not quite sure how the West Coast does it, if they get out and like ending of May as well, or do their children go to June? If your children, wherever you are not going to a school that's all year round. Um, but yeah, they had, I think March is when the students, early March, end of February, early March, somewhere in there, where students actually during the COVID 2020 last year, school was out. So I'm like, okay, Ms. Contreras had already received at this time for 3 schools that were damaged in a tornado a couple of years prior to the COVID. She had already received like 10 point, I won't say she received, but the Guilford County Schools had already received a check from the insurance for 10.1 million for the damaging of those 3 schools. My daughter went to one of the schools and have yet to see nothing transpire with that. So then when COVID hit, Miss Sharon Contreras, the superintendent of schools of Guilford County, she went and wanted to get, I think she asked, I know she asked for 20 million. The county gave her, they said, no, pretty much like, no, you got 10.1 million already over there. What are you doing with that? No, we're not going to give you that. We'll give you 10. Matter of fact, and we'll add an extra 5 in there, so you can take care of the HVAC system with the schools to kind of help with that. We'll tack on some more money. So right then, from there, you had a little over 25 mil. What do you do with that? You didn't nothing, see nothing, know nothing. Um, you had this money. Schools start back. You want the students to start back to the school. Uh, this year, 2021, and what happened to the ACEs program? You have nothing for that. Um, Nothing. You know what I mean? You could have hired people, could have put people to work for that, could have hired some aides to come in and help with that. What happened? Nothing with that. And that's just the ACEs program. The after school program. You know, what happened with that? Nothing. Heard nothing about that. What are you doing about the security? And you had the whole 2020, most of 2020, you had that to start on something. Never heard anything. Barely in 2020 did we really hear from the superintendent about updates. It was very slow on the updates. But now I understand what it was. You were sitting around waiting for a handout, from seeing what else you could get from the government, what else was going to come down the pipeline, but yet never starting on anything with the funds you already have. You got 69,000 plus students and 126 schools within the Guilford County school system. I'm concerned about a lot of things as a parent of a child who attends school here in Guilford County. I'm concerned about a lot of things that I see, and I see like it seems as though they're setting the children up for failure. It seems as though I'm not, and let's not get me confused. I'm not uh, blaming Ms. Contreras or any superintendent or any of the school systems in this state or around the country for the COVID. No, we're not talking about. We're not talking about. I'm not placing no blame on anyone about the COVID situation. So I'm just talking about what was put on the table and what GCS schools had, the funding, the money that was on the table for them, and what hadn't been done, and had a lot of time last in 2020, to do some things. While school wasn't in, the schools were empty. You still could have had people working. That could have been less people on the unemployment line or whatever that nature. You know what I mean? You had funds that people could have been working. You could have been getting things done. The security system, the HVAC systems in some schools. Use what you got and then go for more money. But it's like Ms. Contreras is going, trying to get the Guilford County school systems going, trying to get more money, but not fixing anything. What are you asking for more money? You're not starting anything. And that's what the county beef was, because they were like, hey, look, you asking for money pretty much, and you're not even doing nothing with the money you got. We got money sitting here for you, but we're not gonna cut the check on anything till we see some work done. We need receipts before we start paying out anybody. So we're not just gonna hand you money and not say anything. That's not how we work. That's not how we ever worked. You know what I mean? And rightfully so. They're like, hey, you already had 10.1 million. We got 10 million, 10.5 on the table for you. But I'm sorry, not 10. We got 15 million on the table for you. But you haven't. No one came to us. No one's did any estimations on anything. No one came and looked at any work. We know because no one called us to cut a check for anything. So what do you know what I mean? So that my concern is like, hey man, what is the Guilford County school system and Sharon Contreras? What is your mission? What are you trying to do? Because at the end of the day, all the money you get, all these schools are not gonna get fixed all at the same time. That's gonna be a process. But you haven't even started a process or started getting some schools uh, work done that needs to be done. And another thing, we're in a technology driven age here. And when I say I feel like it's setting the kids up for failure, because these kids, their minds are working, they're ready to go. They're born into this technology. They come out of the wombs of their moms, and they're already knowing within 3 months of their life on this earth, they know how to play with a cell phone. They know how to go in and push buttons on the cell phone. They know how to, they're looking at TV and video games on the cell phone. These kids grow and then they get iPads. They're playing games on iPads. They're doing all of these things. And they're advanced. Their minds are there. They're clicking. They're working. Back when I think about my time when I was coming up, um, and being in grammar school, should I say middle school, uh, computers weren't like 88, 89. Computers was still, it was, you just had this big old dinosaur looking thing. I think it was IBM, big old dinosaur looking thing. And the only thing you could do on a computer was like make circles, and the screen was just black. And you were just able to like make shapes and things of that nature. It wasn't even developed yet. We was using floppy disks and things of that nature. Today, it's none of that, And then even so, then at that time in the '80s, you know, nobody really even a lot of people didn't even believe that the people were thinking the computers was just gonna be some type of, it was a fad. It wasn't gonna be around long. They just thought that people were still doing things manually. You go handle your business, what I mean, take care of business. People were still typing on typewriters. People were still sending letters to people via typewriter. Mail it off. Now you got, today we don't do, you don't even have to do that. You want to send a message to anybody, you want to handle your business, a lot of times you could just send an email to somebody, email them what they need. You could use the camera phone, take a picture, upload it right from your phone. You can even scan your papers on your phone now. Boom. Send them through the email, through your phone. You don't even have to be at a computer now. So these kids, they're coming up, they're seeing this. This is their life now. This is their world. Why are we doing things, and I want to make an example here. Why are we doing things with arithmetic like Eureka Math? Confusing the holy crap out of these children. Why are we doing that? I'm confused. Why are we doing that? Just to get a simple answer of 3 plus 2, which equals 5. We all know that, right? But why are we doing things, just an example, why are we doing things like, just to get what 3 plus 5 is, why are we doing things like 3 times 1 equals 3, plus 2, subtract 3? Why are we doing that? That's Eureka Math. That's what you go. What is the thought process and the science behind that? These kids are bright enough today. You don't have to do all of that. And then if you have a kid that they're just challenged anyway, and I'm just using Eureka Math. We can talk about reading, writing, whatever. But I'm using Eureka Math because that was a big thing, you know. Um, and it's a big thing because you had teachers. Now teachers, they come up in their time as well, and they knew what the simple arithmetic, like the simple math, what 3 subtract 2 was, what 3 plus 2 was, 3 times 2, 3 divided by 2. You know what I'm saying? Like, you knew what you knew the format to get that. Now they were sending teachers to take classes, confusing them, to teach them to confuse the children. So I'm saying, if you had a district that was already struggling, a district in the school, a district that was already struggling, a failing school system, why would you implement something like that instead of finding something a lot easier? And if you thought that Eureka Math was something simpler, then you really are out of tune with what the heck is going on. You're really out of tune. And we have to stop trying to reinvent the wheel of so many things. And that's just A lot of things, people always trying to get kudos off of trying to reinvent something. Why are we not rolling with the times and seeing what's going on and focusing on that? Why is someone trying to reinvent arithmetic like that? When in our daily lives as adults, we're not even doing that to get to it. We're not even doing that. We're not even doing that in our own jobs. We're not even doing that in the school system. If you ask a teacher to count up her students in her classroom, is she gonna go there and say, okay, well, I got 25 students in here. So I'm gonna say, so what? I got 25 students, but I'm gonna subtract. I'm gonna subtract 5, then subtract another 10, then I'm gonna add 20. Then I'm gonna add 5. You're not doing that. You say, how many students you got in your classroom? They're gonna count the students up. They're not gonna go through all of that or in a circle. You ask somebody, hey, how long would it take you to get on this side of town? You're gonna say, oh, yeah, simple. Well, I'm just 20 minutes away. You're not gonna sit there and you're not gonna go, wow, that stoplight's gonna be about 2 minutes. You're just gonna automatically know, like, hey, look, it's gonna take me 20 minutes to get there. As long as there's no traffic, 20 minutes to get there. You know what I mean? That's just it. We're not going otherwise. So why are we doing that to these students and while developing their minds? They're already there. But why are we confusing them, setting them back? And then when they fail, yeah, oh, they're struggling. You don't know why? You don't know why. It needs to be programs aimed at today's world. Technology today is just the norm, and it's the way of life, and a life as we knew it is no longer. You know, it's no longer. Youth for today need to be prepped on interview skills when seeking jobs, how to make eye contact, how to dress for an interview, answering and asking questions. I talk on that and I talk on that and I move right into like the high school age students. I talk on that because I was in management, retail management, okay? Various different businesses and within retail management, from the fuel industry to the clothing industry. Um, I was in different sectors of that. Okay, so hold on, y'all. So I'm saying that because I've watched children, young adults, I should say, sorry, come into interviews not dressed right, not knowing how to answer the questions. They're not making eye contact. They're looking at the floor. Um, they didn't seem too sure of themselves, you know. But they're coming to get a job. Some because they need it, some because they were forced, but they weren't prepared. And you figure like, okay, we going through school. Why are we not teaching these children that? Even though the parents supposed to teach that as well too, but this should be taught in school as well. You know, this should be something taught in the school as well. Um, I have a few ideas as part of having a child in the GCS school system. June 17th, the Guilford County Board of Commissioners voted to distribute $229 million for the upcoming school year, the 2021-2022 school year. And but to be honest, so you remember I just said to you that pretty much they already had prior to this. Now they're gonna give up 229 million. They already had on the table previously, already before this on the 17th. They already had Guilford County School System already had 25 million, right? So you looking at 254 million dollars there on the table. That's just simple math. Okay, I didn't go all the way around the corner. That's just simple math. Okay, but they're going to distribute 229 million now for the upcoming school year. But they already had the county's going to distribute that to the Guilford County school system. Guilford County school system already had pretty much 25 million already. They wasn't doing nothing with it. So you add that 25 million with that 229 million. Okay, $254 million. Now, what is the plan for that? I heard this last week, haven't heard a plan, and it's a week later. Okay, haven't heard a plan yet. Well, what are you gonna do with it? They said what they were giving it to them for, but what is Guilford County school system plan to do with that money? You know, we need to move into a more modern education system, teaching the children the ways of the world today. You know what's amazing to me is that my daughter's school sent a note home asking if we would like to allow our daughter to participate in some type of group where they talk about their body, like your monthly cycle. Yeah, she's 10 years old. we declined. We declined that. Okay. Her mom's has already been talking with her about those things. All right. So we declined that. But the school expressed that they know the young children's body are maturing faster today than yesterday. So if you knew this, then you know the mind of the children as well, right? If their body maturing, then you know their minds are maturing faster as well, right? Right? You know, I keep my notes, so I make sure I stay on course, man, with y'all, you know. What can be done with the 229 million plus the 10.1 million and the other 15 million, which is the actual total of 254 million? Throw the Eureka math and all throw the throw the Eureka math in the trash. You're confusing the children as well, the parents. 5 plus 5 equals 10. Why must we go all around the world for simple arithmetic? 3 times 6 is 18. Why are we teaching the children to go all around the world for an answer that's simple by learning 3 timetables and the 6 times tables? There's absolutely no reason for this confusing poor teachers, confusing the poor children. Teachers had to take classes to learn to confuse the children. That's a shame, man. When we could do things like teaching coding to the children. These kids were born into the computers. I keep saying it and I'm going to keep saying it. They were born into the computer age. The country, matter of fact, the world needs more coders, IT people, engineering. You should be teaching engineering as well in the middle in these grammar schools. Uh, throughout the school, throughout their 12 years of school. Okay, pretty much you should be going through stages with this. Banking. By the time they get to high school, they should understand banking, money management, credit, how to invest, stocks, property, real estate. They should be understanding these things. They should have a general knowledge of it. You know. Also, these are careers. They should be having a general knowledge of this. Entrepreneurship. We see companies have moved into more technology ran from distribution, fast food, even buying automobiles. You can buy these things online. You can order your food online, Uber. You can buy cars online. When did we ever know that? When we ever thought that we'll be able to not even go like you, teach his own, but you don't even want to go to the car lot. You rather order your car online. You won't ever get to look and drive it until it shows up at your house after you already signed electronic documents and for it. You will not even get to touch the car until it shows up on the truck in front of your house or wherever you picking it up at. Who would have known that was gonna that would be like you wouldn't even you have an option. You won't have to go into the dealer. No one thought that computers would be what they were today. Technology wasn't around when I was in grammar school. Today, kids are born with playing with real phones, iPads, laptops, knowing what Uber Eats is and how to order. It's a new world, and if we really want our children to move this new world, we must set them up for success and not failure. We must set them up for success and not failure. So I say to Guilford County school system, put that 25 million to proper use. The children today deserve to have a fair shot. A child shouldn't have to go to a tech school just to show their skills and compete in today's society. When today's society is ran off of technology. You see, there was an option back then with the tech schools. That's where you had the option. Because computers weren't there, so they were looking at the technology world and everything. They were looking at that like it was going to be a fad phase or whatever I should say. So you had an option if you want to go to tech schools for certain things. Now, granted, you go to tech school to do graphic design and all that. But now that is prep. People are making millions. Independent people, entrepreneurs, people are making money off of being graphic designers. People are making money, man. Coders. Like, we should have this. This should be in the public school system. You know, I'm setting my daughter up for those things to take those classes. You know what I mean? And but you shouldn't have to sign up for online type of things like that. This should be offered in the school system. This should be offered in the school system. Why are we playing games? Why are we steady being stuck in a primitive? But we keep saying that we want our students to be competitive. We want our students around this country to be competitive with the rest of the world. Well, how? If we keep separating the public school children from children who pay to go to school, from children who take tests to get into other schools, why are we separating these children like that? Educate them. Set up a plan. The teachers are there. The teachers are there. The teachers are doing their hard, doing their damnedest, and doing the best that they can. And a lot of teachers around this country, they love these students. The teachers love these students and want to see that. Why wouldn't they? That makes. I know that I've had teachers in my life. I had some crappy teachers. I had some great teachers. But all in all, there's teachers out here that love these students and that it gives them nothing but joy to sit back and see how many students they inspired and pushed and helped get to where they need to be, directed them where they need to be, motivated them. But you have to give those teachers the tools that they need. We have to motivate and excite everybody in the classroom, not just the students, the teachers. The teachers need to be excited about what they're teaching, what they're introducing to the children. The same old, same old. It's just crazy. And the best thing you could come up with is doing some freaking bringing something like a Eureka math into the school system, where Now a parent is sitting there, you teaching your child, but in your mind there's a riot going on in your mind, and you can't show that in front of your kid while you're trying to teach him this goofy math. But it's a riot going on in your mind here as to why are we doing this? Why are we doing this again? Come on, man. We gotta do better. You gotta do better, man. You gotta do better. And let's get on the ball. Guilford County School System. Sharon Contreras. There's too much funds on the table to have any excuses in the future. It's also a great start that teachers, faculty, and all staff inside the school walls will get a raise. Also, let's set up the quality of food for the children with this money. Let's get a better quality of food for the children too. Okay, oftentimes we hear this nutrition thing here, but you still serving a lot of these kids in the public school system crappy food too. You know, tearing up their stomachs and everything. Like it's not healthy. A lot of processed crap going on. Let's figure out to get these students a better quality of food here, okay, and move away from this process. A lot of this processed food that you're serving the children. It's a new day. These children are by far slow. These children are wise. But you know what happens when anybody feels defeated in something, or anybody if something doesn't interest a person, they're not gonna pay much attention to it. Their mind is not gonna be there, you know. And we have to introduce what these kids are seeing every day in the school system. We have to introduce what they're seeing today in the school system. What's it that you got these computers sitting here, but you're not tapping into what's really being going on in the world and what's really being done in the world today. Now you tell me, when you sit back and think about it, how competitive are the students? And I'm starting here with Guilford County School System. How competitive are you being? The time is now. You're already behind. You're already behind. We're already behind, at least 2 decades behind. The time is now. Every day is new things, new developments in the world, the technology age, the way things are being done today. You remember, people would buy homes. You had to go beat the pavement, get with the real estate agent. The agent had to know the properties in their area, the properties in or wherever you were looking for a home at. The realtor had to know what was all available from doing the footwork. Now, you sit home and you buy a home off a computer, pretty much. The agent sends you a list of the homes. You you go through the list that they send that what you were looking for. They tailor a list for you and send you lists out. You know what I mean? So you can buy a home, pick out a home from the comforts of your residence. You don't have to even beat your brain and ride around looking for signs saying home for sale, home for rent, building for rent or apartment for rent. You don't no longer townhouse for rent. You don't no longer have to do that. You can just sit there at your computer on your phone actually and wait and see what comes through. Who knew? Who knew? But now the world is forever changing. You banking. Remember, you had to go into the bank to handle your business. No. You handle your business right from your phone, right from your laptop, your iPad. You can make transactions there. You have all of these different ways. Cash App. Kids know about Cash App too. Yeah. Kids know about Cash App. Kids know about Zelle. You know, kids know about these things. Vimo. Kids know about these things. You know, they know about these things. If you really want to know, all you had to do, you send questionnaires out. All you want to know, all you want to do, you want to play a game with the children. You want to play a game with the kids in your school district or your, or in your state. Send something to the children. Just ask them about something, certain technology things, and watch how many answers. Watch the responses you get to what these kids know. These kids are playing games on a computer for hours. But then you may ask that kid, what do you want to do when you grow up? They don't know. But they do know, but they can become a coder. They like playing games. They like playing games. They like messing around with the computer. They like that stuff. They can be a coder. They can become coders. I know I did the same thing to my daughter. I asked my daughter, that's one thing. Every year, because it'll change, every year I ask my daughter, say, write it down. What do you want to be? What do you want to be when you grow up? You don't gotta have a extensive list. Five things you want to be. What do you want to be when you grow up? What is it you want to do? Write it down. It'll change. It changes all the time, but it's getting the mind to work. Then she plays the games and I focus in because my child is not an athlete. She's not an athlete, but she's a very bright young girl. She's not an athlete, but I'm paid attention. And I said, oh, you know what? So I said, hey, you like playing those video games? You like playing the things on the iPad with your friends? Yeah, you like that. Would you like to make your own game one day? She said, yeah. I said, what kind of game would you like? Would you make? And she told me. I said, okay. Went to her mom's, looked at her mom, said, hey, we might need to try out some coding things, see how she liked it. So she did it. She liked it. She liked trying to develop something on a computer. She liked it because she's already accustomed to messing with the iPad, the computers, the phones. She's already been accustomed to that. So, my daughter, 3 years old, she was already on a cell phone and scrolling. They do this thing when they were, a couple months old. They get on there and that's how it all starts. That light from that phone catches them. And then it's the colors. They get some. Then they like, what is that? That's what they know. You know, so hey man, my thing is Guilford County school system. Let's get on the ball. I'm doing the math here. $254 million. That's a lot. I don't know what the Guilford County, the superintendent of Guilford County Schools, Sharon Contreras. I don't know how much money is enough for you to get started on something. It's just mighty funny to me that the insurance, because of the age of those three schools that were hit in the tornado in Greensboro back 2017, 2018. You was fine with the $10.1 million, and I felt like $10.1 million for to at least get something started on those three schools. That was well over enough money for those three schools, and I have yet to see anything happen with any of those schools. Nothing. Hey, Irwin Elementary probably was the best one out of all of them that didn't have much damage like that. From my understanding, it only had from my understanding, it had mildew, and it had damage to the roof. What's funny to me, there's a church that was damaged during that tornado. Right next to it, it was a house that was totally diminished, as well. They were both right next on the same side of Irwin Elementary, Montessori school. I'm sorry, Irwin Montessori. They were right next door. That church is back up, and I think last year it got all completed towards the end of last year. That church, that home, they both back looking great, and Irwin is just sitting there just sitting there, just going to waste. A whole building, a whole brick building. What are you doing? You were fine with that, but then when the county told you, Miss Sharon Contreras, that no, we're not going to give you 20, we'll give you 10, you weren't happy with that. But they earmarked another 5 million. But you weren't happy with the 10 million. Why? But you wanted 20. You wanted this is what I'm trying to. This is simple math again, folks. She. Besides the 10.1 that she got for the insurance for the 3 schools, Miss Sharon Contreras was fine with that. It wasn't nothing you could do about it anyway. They said that's all you could get. The schools were old. Okay. So now when you knew the county was coming into some more money, um, you went for 20 million. They said no. So they gave you 10. Well, I keep saying 10, but they gave you 15 million. Okay? That's total of 25, right? Why has anything started? You initially wanted to get 20 from them alone. They didn't give it to you. But total altogether, you wound up having more money than what you even asked for just from the county. You got more money. You were sitting on more money than what you wanted from the county. You wanted 20 million from them. They said no and gave you 10, 15, because they gave you 10 and then earmarked 5 million. They gave you 10 million and earmarked 5 million for the HVAC system. You were already sitting on 10 million from the insurance. That's 25 million right there. What's the problem? You were already sitting on more than what you asked for from the county. So now I don't understand what's enough. So now they added another 229 million for the upcoming school year, for the 2021-2022 school year. And I'm trying to see. And then you had the nerve to say something in that same you had the nerve to say when you had the meeting about the 229 million, you had enough to say, yeah, that's enough. Yeah, that's a start. But we're trying to get that 600. That 600 million is coming down. You're trying to get 600 million. Why don't you start with what you got right now, Miss Contreras? How about that? What you should have been started with what you had. You know, the old saying, work with what you got. You know, work with what you got. Start somewhere first. Let someone see you're doing something. And then when you're doing what you're doing and you're using the funds for what you need when you need to use it for, and then if you feel like, okay, I'm trying to get more and I need more to do this, then you speak out to the public and let us know what's going on, and then the public, we can rally behind you as parents and people of the people of the community and of the city and the county. People who get behind you because they have children in the system or had children in the system and care about education. We can get behind you. But no, you just wanna you just want to get up all of this money, and I don't understand why if nothing is being done. And if something is being done, by all means, correct me, show me. None of us know. Everybody's asking. He got people like the Rhino Times who's asking. They're putting things out there as well. Everybody's asking. The county even asked you, what are you doing? Everybody's asking you. So it's just not me. I'm just not talking. I'm just not somebody. I'm just a parent, don't know what I'm talking about. Yeah. You know why? Because you don't come out and speak enough about what's going on or nothing. But when there's money in the pipeline, you're coming and you're running for the money. You're asking for more money, but you're not doing nothing with it. You know? But like I said, my you totally, I was already not with you, but you totally lost me when you were trying to get that position. You were like the top 5 runner up for Secretary of Education for the Biden administration. And when that got put out there, and I'm saying to myself, that got put out there, And that got put out there at the time last year or whatever, when you should have been worried about the school system here and getting things together. You are looking for your out. You're looking for another out. You don't care about these students. You care about yourself and trying to make yourself. You don't care about this. You see, to do this job, every job that we do, whether it's in education or what it is, you have to love what you do. You have to take pride in what you do. You don't take pride in what you do. You just want to get something on your resume, put another stamp on your jacket, and move on. You're not caring about the education system. You're leaving jobs undone, and you're stepping off the same way you did in Syracuse, New York. It's the same thing you're trying to do here now, and that said a lot about you when that came out. And if Guilford County after that, if Guilford County hadn't start putting their bids in and looking around and eyeballing some new superintendents after they found out you were trying to uh, get a job as a secretary of education, how you gonna get a job? Some people move on and get jobs after they, you know, after they like mastered one level and like they're champion and made so many different changes on one level. Then they go up another notch. Once you have mastered one stage, you're not mastering anything from what I see, Ms. Contreras. You're just moving along. You're just moving along. You're just buying your time. You're just getting in spots. You're whatever your contract is allow you to be, whatever, however length your contract is, however many years it's for. You stay there for that time and you move on. You're not trying to make any changes. No parent in this county is happy with you, Ms. Contreras, and that should say a lot. No parent, no past parent, no present parent has been happy with you and is happy with you. And like I said, I watched you after the tornado. Can't blame you for the tornado, not blaming you for COVID. Can't blame no man, no citizen for that. I'm blaming you for the actions that were taken after these events. So after the tornado, yeah, y'all moved swiftly because you had schools that could house those other schools. Still today, you have these students. You have 2 schools under one roof today. You have 3 schools under the roof of another school today, still from the tornado. So, in other words, students are still displaced from that. Why, Ms. Contreras? Why? Don't worry. The parents of Guilford County, we've been waiting. We don't even want to hear it because you ain't trying to do nothing. You just buying your time. The same thing you did in Syracuse, New York. And you got this 229 million added to the 25 million they already had on the table. Unless my numbers is off, correct me. Please just don't do it the Eureka math way. All right. Let's just make it simple. But Guilford County, we're looking for some paperwork too. And Guilford County was looking to see what you did. They had to go behind you guys and try to talk to some people and get their own analysis of like what's going on. Because we got money on the table for you, you're not using it. So that goes to show. So if Guilford County had 15 million before this 229 million, they have 15 million on the table for you, and they're trying to figure out why you haven't come for it. But it's things that need to be done, and they know it's things that need to be done. You haven't come for it. Then what about that 10.1 million? So you just got that money sitting there, so obviously it's just been sitting there. What are you doing with that? And you wonder why. See, things like this is why the state come and take over your schools. That's why states will come in and swoop in and take over districts. And then you have the people mad and in an uproar. When the truth is, the people that are heading the school system in whatever said county is not doing that job and doing a piss poor job. So the state has to come in and then they're going to regulate it and do it how it needs to be done. It may not be the right way, it may not be the way that anybody, but if we're going to save the schools, we got to get these fools up out of here that's playing around. That's what happens. We got to get these fools up out of here that's playing around, because that's what's going on. Whatever special interest, whatever, I don't know, but we got to get them out of here. These babies need better education. These babies need to be in a competitive. They need to be able to compete. They need to have something. They need to be able to be doing things that they can relate to. We can't keep doing it. We can't not keep presenting education as it was back in the 50s. We can't keep doing education. It's primitive what we're doing right now. Okay, we have to get modernized. And just because you got computers in certain schools, that don't mean nothing. Just because you got computers in schools or whatever, the kids can take home laptops or iPads and everything, and that's not, we got to get better. Okay, it has to get better. And if nothing else has showed you, 2020 should have showed a lot, man. The world has changed. The world, if nothing else showed us, 2020, during the height of the COVID, when COVID hit, period, that should have showed the things and the transition and everything that started happening. The world as we knew it will never be the same again. Not, at least not this country. The way that business was being ran will never, it's not going to be the same again. The way we were doing things can't be done. That's my time. I'm your guy, Rashawn. And peace and blessings to all of y'all. That's me wrapping it up about the Guilford County school system. Chime in. This channel here is a it's a non-judgment zone to those who watch it. I don't, and you leave comments. I'm not judging you. Everybody's comment. You have your freedom of speech. You have your thoughts and minds, and we have to use them. I don't judge anybody. I don't badmouth the people you watching and you leaving comments. I'm not badmouthing you at all. I speak about, this channel here is about speaking about local and worldly events. That's what it's about. It's about the things you talk about on your lunch break with your friends, associates, co-workers. The things you may sit and talk in your home with your significant other, with your family, with your friends. The conversations that you have about everyday things that affect you and which you may see. That's what this page is about. I don't dabble and dabble in entertainment. You can check my resume as of starting from last year. I've dealt with the entertainment sector early on years ago. But over the past year, I felt compelled to talk about the things that are going on around us and showing that we can't just have tunnel vision. We have to have wide vision. So peace and blessings to you all. Please drop your comments. Please share this. Tell a friend, subscribe to the channel here on YouTube. We speak about some great things here. Well, I speak about great things here that I present to you. Is all about each one, teach one, spreading knowledge, spreading what I see, and encouraging and enlightening and motivating. That's what it's about. Peace and blessings to you all. I'm your guy, Rashawn. Catch you next week.